Hey friends, full reactions in the link in the description below, so pause, leave a like, really helps the channel, subscribe, and come back after you watch the reaction for the discussion. Give you some time to do that. Review and commentary starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, I'm actually really satisfied with the way this movie turned out. I was a little worried since I felt like the writing for the part of the licensing exam with Saiko and Telly and the movie tie-in episode were a little below par. Still like those episodes, but for me, it just felt like certain things didn't fit quite right. So I was afraid that the movie's writing might be at around that level, but thankfully, I feel like it's typical, really cool My Hero Academia level rating. So yeah, happy about that. There were a few plot holes here and there, but you could easily overlook them. Just as an example, somehow Deku had no idea that all his friends were going to be on Island. All of them? I mean, for that to be the case, he'd need to be like super unpopular and no one was going to invite him while the entire class had a good time there. I mean, if All Might hadn't taken Deku, he would have been the only one from 1A who wasn't there, right? Because we saw Aoyama and Koda in the credits. Did we see Ojiro actually? I'm not sure. I feel like we must have, because what if he's the only one who was left out? But yeah, don't buy that they didn't talk to each other about their summer plans, at least with Uraraka and Tenya, right? Like, come on. So it's little things like that, not really a big deal and at all. And any inconsistencies are overshadowed by the film's good points for sure. For instance, getting to see Deku and All Might fight together was incredible. It's something I didn't realize I needed, but I absolutely did. And the movie is chock full of moments like that. And it must have been a dream come true for Deku to fight alongside All Might. And in the moment, he's like very concentrated and focused on taking down this guy, but and he's very happy that he saved a bunch of people. But maybe give it a few days, and he'll be like fanboying about how he got to fight alongside his favorite hero of all time. So yeah, I just like to think about that. Also, I don't know how none of the kids besides Bakugo suspect Deku has a similar quirk to All Might's after they were basically mirroring each other, and both of them did a Detroit Smash. Um, can definitely see if this is canon. I can definitely see why Bakugo grew more and more suspicious uh, later on. But yeah, this society is a weird one though. Like David didn't even use his quirk to commit a crime, and yet people are talking about him as a villain. Like, yeah, he technically did something bad and illegal, but there's context here. I think they play it very fast and loose with the word villain, or maybe it's a translation thing. Because like the only people I would call villains in our current society in real life are maybe people who run criminal syndicates. I'm not even sure if I'd refer to low-level enforcers in criminal like gangs as villains, because there's a lot of context that's needed. For instance, like Legend of Korra, Mako, and Bolin, they did illegal things once too. They worked for the Triple Triad, so I wouldn't call them villains at all. So what if someone turns to a life of crime because that is their only option to survive, like Mako and Bolin? Like people, I wouldn't consider them villains. People I'd also call villains are probably rich people who bribe corrupt politicians in order to hoard more and more wealth. The corrupt politicians who accept those bribes for sure. But like in this universe, someone who tries to steal something to help his friend protect the entire world is called a villain, and that like crushes him. The thought that he could be a villain, like that's so weird to me. I guess my problem is a little with our current system too, because I mean, not too long ago, I saw a news article that said like ex-con misses job interview and risks his life to save someone else's life, and I mean, he risked his own life and skipped a job interview to save someone else, and you're gonna label him an ex-con in the headline? Like, they can't escape that kind of label regardless of what they wind up doing. So it bothers me to see David Shield be portrayed or be thought of as a villain. It's ridiculous to me. Because most people are way more complicated than that. Most people make big mistakes in their lives, and I'm now thinking about Ali from that first special episode of Euphoria. Oh, great series. Highly recommend. But yeah, that was the thought that just entered my brain. Anyway, that tangent aside, the film is so much fun. Seeing a young All Might was really cool. I feel like I would totally watch the heck out of a young All Might series. It might be hard to write because he easily overpowers almost everybody besides All for One, as far as we know. But we could jump forward and back. in the past for a lot of the story. I mean, heck, even watching him being taught by Nana Shimura would have just fill a certain hole in my heart. Speaking of which, though, the flashback scene we saw, I think Nana was already dead then, right? Because All Might already has taken All for One, I mean, One for All, and made it his own. So it must have faded from Nana already, and All for One must have killed her already. That's sad. But yeah, I barely recognize David Shield in his middle age compared to when he was younger. And the fact that he's a teenage daughter means that All Might is around the age where he could have a teenage daughter too. And I think I've talked about it before, but he's probably in his 50s. But yeah, seeing his close friend who's he's the same age as have a daughter makes me wonder if he feels like he missed out on building a family. I wonder if he ever fell in love, or if his job was just too important to him that he didn't want to make room for it. Actually, I know what it is actually. He saw what happened with Nana Shimura's husband and how she had to put up her son for adoption, and he didn't want to put someone in danger like that. That's really sad. I hope, on one hand, I don't want him to miss out on falling in love, but at the same time, I don't want him to fall in love and be like, I can't be with this person because I have a duty to the world. So now that he's retired in the present time, if his heart does yearn for love, I hope he'll set some time aside for that, and yeah, hopefully he gets to be explore that side of himself that he hasn't been able to for so long. It was super fun seeing everybody in formal wear too. Another thing that I didn't know I needed. Our characters tend to wear the same thing most of the time, so it's a very nice change of pace. Would have been fun to see all the other characters dress up too, aside from the ones who were featured at the party. But hey, um, actually, you know what's weird? We didn't see anybody from Class B. Maybe they were around on Island. We just didn't see them at all. But yeah, it'd be too many characters to cram into one movie. But yeah, Melissa Shield was a really fun and cute character. I like her a lot. Hopefully, we get to see her at some point in the future. That gauntlet she gave Deku was so sturdy, it could withstand almost everything besides a full powered 100% smash, which is incredible. It did have to break though for the sake of the story, or else Deku would just go back to school being completely overpowered. But yeah, I wonder what's to stop her from making another one for him in the future. It'd be also great if he could use both his arms and legs at full power with a great fighting style. Um, the issue with that would be that he would be way too overpowered for this point in the story. But hey, but yeah, I'm actually very curious if the movie and if this movie and the next one are canon. If they are, it makes even more sense that Bakugo seems to have caught on to Deku inheriting One for All from All Might, like I said before, and yeah, surprised that nobody else has really noticed. They were really like perfectly synchronized for parts of that battle too. Like it seems like I'm guessing All Might like slowed down so that Deku could keep up without breaking his legs. But that moment where they're like running side by side, and then the smash with all of their power, that was great. The villain though, Wolfram, really really loved that moment when All for One's theme started playing. I never realized how powerful that music was because the first time All for One showed up, I was so focused on him and being scared of him that I didn't get a chance to focus on the music. But this time, when it started playing, I realized it instantly and felt paralyzed instantly, like the kids who were there to save Bakugo in the future. But yeah, freaking chills. So well done. So well done. And I think overall, I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. It really delivered on a lot of things I didn't even know I needed, like I mentioned before. And seeing Big All Might again, seeing Deku and All Might fight together, seeing Kirishima be so dumb he doesn't realize he can just turn his quirk off to unstick himself from the wall. Uh, Kirishima's hilarious. But yeah, learning more about All Might's past was great too. His Bronze Age costume might be my favorite, actually. It just, the color scheme looks really, really interesting. But yeah, I want to know when he started losing his eyes though, because you can see the white of his eyes in the flashback, but then by the time I think by the time you see the Bronze Age, it's already like black. So I had kind of assumed that they started becoming sunken after All for One damaged him, but we see his eyes in the Bronze Age, and he's it's already like black. So it's odd. Um, my question for you guys though is, who are the two heroes that the title of this movie is referencing? Because is it All Might and Deku or Deku and Melissa? There's no option for a poll on YouTube or on a video, so I'll leave two comments below, either Melissa and Deku or Deku and All Might. So leave a like on the one you agree with to cast your vote, I guess. And leave a like on this video while you're at it. I personally think it's Melissa and Deku. I mean, it's all of them and all the kids of 1A as well, but for the sake of the movie title, I think it's Melissa and Deku. Um, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Really, really love this movie. If you want to watch the full reaction, check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.